is your oldest thing you have? Hey, everybody, thanks for joining me. I'm your host, EJ Parker, here at Vintage Classic Solutions. I was just getting my polling results signed, ready for tonight, the live results at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The oldest thing I have. Um, I was thinking about this question. Now, the oldest thing I have made by human hands, because you can say a rock, right? Where's a rock? I got a rock somewhere. Where's my rock when I need my rock? Anyhow, I mean, I have a rock collection, but the oldest thing I have made by a human hand are probably things I have, like Native American items, like arrowheads. I feature them a lot on my channel. Um, I don't really sell those as much. I feature them to learn about them and to share what I've learned with all you. But those like the I live in the United States in Ohio, and it has a rich history of Native American presence up until colonization by Europeans. So where I live right now was Native American. I mean, there's documentation, or there was a lot of Native Americans in this area. So I do find objects when I go out hiking sometimes that are artifacts, and those can be BCE, before Common Era. Um, Archaeologists can guesstimate the age by the shape of the like the design of the arrowhead, or the axe head, or whatever it is. But because I was thinking about that, I know my European friends have antiques that are much older, and my friends in Asia have antiques that are much older, right? In the United States, the oldest things we have are the things made by Native Americans, and they're I mean, it's just, there's so much. To me, it's a fascinating history, and I believe there's so much lost knowledge um, that the Native Americans had. To be isolated in this country. I'm sure they experienced some magical things in the forest, and saw some amazing things. So to answer your question, the oldest thing I probably have is probably like an arrowhead or a stone axe head. I don't have those in my shop. Those are in my collection in the house. But those are probably again from before the time of Christ, which is amazing. And it's amazing when you find one of those. My name's EJ Parker. We are live. I have I'm surrounded by blow molds. If you can see, um, I'm kind of segueing. You can see the. Do you have something you collect for yourself? Yes, I do. That's kind of dangerous when you're an antique and vintage dealer, because you have to sell things in order to eat and pay the bills and support your family. But yeah, I collect vintage Halloween items. I collect very old baseball items, and I mean like 1890s, 1910. I collect art. I have a modest collection of art throughout my house. I collect Native American artifacts. I collect probably too many things, but what can I say? It's what I love to do, and I'm a good shopper. I can shop online and on eBay and find a really good price for something that I want to add to my collection, and I can be patient if I need to, and wait for the right price, and all that. The favorite thing I collect, though, I mean, it's hard to give it a favorite, but I mean, vintage Halloween, antique baseball. I love art. Primitives are fun. I mean, any super old primitive, it really captures the imagination. Folks love like just rusty old wooden rickety things can really capture folks' imagination. It's a good question though. It's hard to answer that. Yeah, it is hard to part with some things. I just have to do it. You know what I mean? And I have regret selling things in the past where it's like, God, I sell that, because in the antique world, you're dealing with things that are almost like works of art, almost. Whereas they're very unique. The patina, where it was stored for the past 100 years, how the sun bleached it or not. So it is hard to part with some stuff, but I mean, you got to do it. I mean, it's just it is hard. And what I try to do is if I buy something for myself, and I fall in love with it, I'll keep it. But if the lure kind of wears off, let's say I bought this and I love it, and then in 5 months I'm like, oh, okay, I can maybe sell that. But there's certain things I can never sell that I'll probably keep until I die, whenever that is. I don't know. It is hard though to be an antique dealer and and collector. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. But I'm a risk taker. So let's talk about what we see here. So this is a vintage assortment of Halloween and Christmas blow molds, right? For those of you who don't know, blow molds are plastic objects made for decoration, the holidays, very common in the United States throughout the late 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and they make them still today. Anything you regret selling? Man, yeah, there is. Let me think. Yes. So I had a work of art. This is a story that was kind of rough, but I learned from it and it motivated me. So I had a work of art by an artist that I was semi-familiar with, and it was an earlier work. So I thought I couldn't find any reference of it in anything online, any publications. And I looked for a day, and I couldn't find this work online. And this person's known for making various works, like mass production. So I sold it for $100. I'm like, maybe a knockoff. I'm just gonna put $100 and see what happens. So someone bought it off me, and when they got it, they bought it off my eBay store. And then when they received it, the package, they wrote me an email letter or note saying, oh, thanks for the work of art. By the way, it's probably worth $6,000. And I was like, oh man, like why'd you have to tell me? That was kind of mean. Like, why would you rub it in? I mean, I make mistakes and everything, but and before this person sent that message, they're like, hey, do you have any more of those works by that artist? And I didn't at that time. So I said no, and they said, well, by the way, it's worth like $6,000. And I was like, oh, but check this out. I fixed the situation. So I was motivated. So I went back out to this thrift store where I found that original one, and check this out. I found 4 more works by the same artist, and some were just as rare. And I ended up making like 4 figures on that deal on the ones I found. So by this seller or this buyer kind of like rubbing it in my face, I didn't stay home and cry about it. I went out and I couldn't believe it. I found like 4 more works with the same artist. It must have been a collection. Sometimes if you're an antique and vintage dealer and you go to thrift stores often, sometimes you can just feel when there's been a collection donated. Someone has probably died, unfortunately, and the relatives don't want to deal with the stuff. They don't think it's appealing, the collection of whatever they had, so they just get rid of it. And that's where, people like me come in. I recognize the value. That first one I didn't recognize, but when the seller or the buyer let me know, I rushed back out, and it was a miracle. I found 4 more. I couldn't believe it. And then that buyer, after they saw I listed these new ones from this artist, they even messaged me again saying like, I thought you said you had no more. And I was honest. I said, at the time you asked me, I didn't have any more. You motivated me to go out and find more. So I regretted selling that, but I honored. I didn't ask for it back or anything. She got a good deal. Good for her. You know what I mean? That's the way it is. Sometimes, I try to research everything as diligently as possible. I'm a one-man show. I think I don't make that many mistakes because I really care about what I do with, researching my items and listing them with the proper price. But that one got through because it didn't have the maker, it didn't have the artist's name on it. It was an earlier work, so it was something I wasn't familiar with. And, to be honest, I still made money. I still made money off that deal. Not as much as I'd like to, but, what are you going to do? You win, you lose. But you got to play the game. No, it's cool. I like interacting. This is why I kind of just throw this YouTube live up here, because I want to get to know you better, and you get to see if you want to get to know me better. So, yeah, it was cool. I found more. It just kind of shows, don't give up. You know what I mean? In life, you get thrown a lemon, make lemonade out of it. And I really did, because I was really mad, like, not at this buyer. I was just like, ah, man, I screwed up. And, and I kind of had a, but I made the best out of it. So back to these blow molds. This is the star of the show, obviously, this giant Santa. This is a 46-inch, mid 20th century, I think it's Union is the maker, or I think it's Union. This is one of the quintessential, classic Santa Claus blow mold. It's hollow plastic. It just has that great look. It's got toys in the bag. It's awesome. I'm gonna be putting this on my front porch in a few after Thanksgiving. On eBay, if you look for this one, they're asking. Sellers are asking around 170 to for up to $600 in the box. People can ask a lot. The problem with these, the challenge is shipping, because a seller might ask $150, but the shipping is 160. So you're looking at probably out the door $325. But it's a great. This is great. It's almost if you're a little kid, it's life size. I found that at a thrift store, believe it or not. I found that thing, I think last year, and I was so happy to get it. This smaller one, now this is a tabletop blow mold. This is like a front porch blow mold, right? This is a tabletop blow mold because it fits on your tabletop. How about that? Boom. You selling. I am selling, but not... This is not for sale. I do have my store, Vintage Classic Solutions. The link's in my YouTube bio. My name is EJ Parker. I'm your host. Thanks for checking in. We are live. I do sell blow molds in my shop, yes. Are any of these for sale right now in my shop? Maybe some. I have blow molds everywhere. I can't bring them all down because it would take forever. I think I have some candy bucket blow molds in my store right now. Some late 20th century, like jack-o'-lantern blow molds. The problem is, though, I like to collect them, so it's difficult. I think I have like a little one. I think this one's in my store right now. I've been liking these a lot lately, these miniature blow molds, because these are fun. You put like little tea lights in there. Those are cool. We're live with blow molds. I'm surrounded by blow molds. This one, let me talk about this one for a minute. This one's great. This is a Peppa Pig Halloween candy bucket. This is a Mexican knockoff. So they didn't pay the licensing to Peppa Pig. It's just a delightful, whimsical Mexican rendition of Peppa Pig. I love this. I bought this from a Mexican dealer. It's got some kind of star emblem. I'm not sure. I guess that's the maker's mark. But it's just like off. It's like just off. The design's kind of off, so it just looks weird. And this is also a Mexican blow mold. This is like a knockoff. There's no licensing. I buy a couple of these a year just because they look so quirky, right? And they're not too expensive, like $15 each, something like that. What else have we got? Let me show this one. This is a candle tabletop blow mold. Noel. This has a date 1970. This is Empire Plastic. Super classic. These look great on your tabletop. They're making these again. You see big box stores kind of making newer blow molds for that nostalgic vibe. Speaking of blow molds, let's check this out really quick. This is kind of cool. So if you look at this, I noticed this and I kind of want to share it with all of you. If you can see. If you can see this horse in Santa's bag right there. It's like a rocking horse. This is the same one. So I think it's probably the same company, even though this lacks a maker's mark. This is kind of a funny thing. This is a blow mold. This is like a really iconic, just little kid riding a horse, probably from the 50s or 60s. Early blow mold. Those toys just have a certain, they're like a balloon that doesn't pop. I don't know. They're just really fun. This one's great. This one is from a nativity scene. This is a wise man coming to the baby Jesus, bearing gifts. This is great. I love just the color scheme on this. This is the only, this one doesn't belong to me. I borrowed this for this video. But it's got a great color scheme. Those, they're more obscure, so they're kind of hard to find. The Wise Man. Let me see what else we got. Well, I gotta talk about this one. This one I love. This one does not belong to me, but I wish it did. This is the Hobo Scarecrow. I love the Hobo Scarecrow. Sometimes I feel like a Hobo Scarecrow. He is just happy as all get out. He's got that little buddy at the bottom. This one is faded from the sun, which is typical of vintage blow molds. You know, you put them in the sun, it'll bleach it, so you gotta be careful. This thing is super iconic. I love his jacket, that old school, like, kind of like plaid tweed thing. So that is the iconic Hobo Scarecrow. Uh-oh. I love blow molds because if they fall over, they won't break. I also collect glass bottles with a passion, and you know, if those fall over, it's a sad day. But blow molds are great. This is a 90s, I'm assuming. I just found this a couple days ago. This must have been on some kind of like a staff, like a Halloween costume kind of thing. I think this is indicative of the 90s. A little bit more aggressive design and molding, right? A little less whimsical, a little more evil. What else do I have in the blow mold? I have a ton. I got these out for a quick run through and a nice backdrop for my poll. I'll be doing the poll reading here. Uh-oh. Santa might crush me live. How about that? All right, behave. So these will be my backdrop for my poll results, which will be in about 2.5 hours, if that's right. So stick around or come back for that. I think that's it. I'm gonna get something to eat before the polling results. So please tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the results of my latest polls. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. My name is EJ, and we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks for checking in.